Corpus linguistics is the study of language, as expressed in samples, corpora, of real-world text. This method represents a digestive approach to deriving a set of abstract rules by which a natural language is governed, or else relates to another language. Originally done by hand, corpora are now largely derived by an automated process. Corpus linguistics adherents believe that reliable language analysis best occurs on field-collected samples in natural contexts, and with minimal experimental interference. Within corpus linguistics there are divergent views as to the value of corpus annotation, from John Sinclair advocating minimal annotation, and allowing texts to speak for themselves to others, such as the Survey of English Usage team, based in University College, London, advocating annotation as a path to greater linguistic understanding and rigor. Linguistics theoretical history. Some of the earliest efforts at grammatical description were based at least in part on corpora of particular religious or cultural significance. For example, Prtkhya literature described the sound patterns of Sanskrit, as found in the Vedas, and Peoni's grammar of classical Sanskrit was based at least in part on analysis of that same corpus. Similarly, the early Arabic grammarians paid particular attention to the language of the Koran. In the Western European tradition, scholars prepared concordances to allow detailed study of the language of the Bible and other canonical texts. A landmark in modern corpus linguistics was the publication by Henry Kuchera and W. Nelson Francis of Computational Analysis of Present-Day American English, in 1967, a work based on the analysis of the Brown corpus, a carefully compiled selection of current American English, totaling about 1 million words drawn from a wide variety of sources. Kuchera and Francis subjected it to a variety of computational analyses, from which they compiled a rich and variegated opus, combining elements of linguistics, language teaching, psychology, statistics, and sociology. A further key publication was Randolph Quirk's Towards a Description of English Usage, 1960, in which he introduced the Survey of English Usage. Shortly thereafter, Boston publisher Houghton Mifflin approached Kuchera to supply a 1 million-word, 3-line citation base for its New American Heritage Dictionary, the first dictionary to be compiled using corpus linguistics. The OD took the innovative step of combining prescriptive elements, how language should be used, with descriptive information, how it actually is used. Other publishers followed suit. The British publisher Collins Co built Monolingual Learner's Dictionary, designed for users learning English as a foreign language, was compiled using the Bank of English. The Survey of English Usage corpus was used in the development of one of the most important corpus-based grammars, the Comprehensive Grammar of English, Cork, et al. 1985. The Brown corpus has also spawned a number of similarly structured corpora, the Loeb corpus, 1960s British English, Colipper, Indian English, Wellington, New Zealand English, Australian corpus of English, Australian English, the Frown corpus, early 1990s American English, and the FLOB corpus, 1990s British English. Other corpora represent many languages, varieties, and modes, and include the International Corpus of English, and the British National Corpus, a 100 million-word collection of a range of spoken and written texts, created in the 1990s, by a consortium of publishers, universities, Oxford and Lancaster, and the British Library. For contemporary American English, work has stalled on the American National Corpus, but the 400-plus million-word corpus of contemporary American English, 1990-present, is now available through a web interface. The first computerized corpus of transcribed spoken language was constructed in 1971 by the Montreal French Project, containing 1 million words, which inspired Shauna Poplack's much larger corpus of spoken French in the Ottawa Hull area. Besides these corpora of living languages, computerized corpora have also been made of collections of text in ancient languages. An example is the Anderson-Forbes database of the Hebrew Bible, developed since the 1970s, in which every clause is parsed using graphs representing up to 7 levels of syntax, and every segment tagged with 7 fields of information. The Quranic Arabic corpus is an annotated corpus for the classical Arabic language of the Quran. This is a recent project with multiple layers of annotation, including morphological segmentation, part-of-speech tagging, and syntactic analysis using dependency grammar. Methods. Corpus Linguistics has generated a number of research methods attempting to trace a path from data to theory. Wallace and Nelson, 2001, first introduced what they call the 3A perspective: annotation, abstraction, and analysis. Annotation consists of the application of a scheme to texts. Annotations may include structural markup, part-of-speech tagging, parsing, and numerous other representations. Abstraction consists of the translation, mapping, of terms in a scheme to terms in a theoretically motivated model or data set. Abstraction typically includes linguist-directed search, but may include e.g., rule learning for parsers. Analysis consists of statistically probing, manipulating, and generalizing from the data set. Analysis might include statistical evaluations, optimization of rule bases, or knowledge discovery methods. Most lexical corpora today are part-of-speech tagged, POS tagged. However, even corpus linguists who work with unannotated plaintext inevitably apply some method to isolate salient terms. In such situations, annotation and abstraction are combined in a lexical search. The advantage of publishing an annotated corpus is that other users can then perform experiments on the corpus. Linguists with other interests and differing perspectives than the originators can exploit this work. By sharing data, corpus linguists are able to treat the corpus as a locus of linguistic debate, rather than as an exhaustive fount of knowledge.